make sure you're subscribed to Jerk Crispy.
Alright, we here. What's up, y'all? Show some most Desmos. Jerk Crispy, we're making that video. The rise and fall of the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, I'm just gonna keep it real. Josh Allen failed, so this could have been his first time actually getting a ring. My glorious Saints will be in the playoffs this year coming up. We just had to do our rebuild type shit. It happens. It happened, but we're gonna drop a good class this year. I hope we do. If we don't, I know I'm gonna come on here and say some bullshit about it. But yeah, me personally, I feel like it's not the last time. The Chiefs didn't make it to the playoffs this year. I feel like they're gonna make the playoffs, make a crazy run this year coming up. This is the year that the Chiefs might have to shut everybody's mouth up, low key. And the Bills, they just never gonna win no championship like this point, bro. These niggas ass. How the fuck y'all lost to Bo Nix? Mind you, Bo Nix was in fucking Bo Nix was playing under another nigga, bro. That's crazy.
From 2018
anyways, man. I don't know. I fuck with the Bills, but I feel like, bro, in general, bro, come on, man. This was your year. Everything planned it out, but you know who really about to go to the Dome? And I'm rooting for it? The Patriots. Them Patriots, man. I'm rooting for them Patriots to win. It'd be Stephon Diggs first win, Drake May first win. I think everybody on the team first win. First win of the season. On some real stuff. That'll be their first win of the season to bring they back. But I don't know. So I think the Seahawks versus the Rams, I don't know. That's a close game. I think that's going to overtime with that. I'm predicting it now. It's going to overtime. It's going to set off a field goal, bro, or a 2-point conversion that set it off or something like that. I don't know. But I think the Patriots going to beat the Broncos, obviously, bro, because they ain't got Bo Nix, they ain't got nobody else. So, yeah.
2024, the Kansas City Chiefs ruled the NFL. 6 straight division titles, 5 Super Bowl appearances, 3 championships. And in 2024, they were on the doorstep of history. A chance at the NFL's first three-peat in the Super Bowl era. A chance to separate themselves from every dynasty that came before. But despite all the dark magic, the Taylor Swift camera cuts, and the feeling that they'd always find a way...
Oh my God, bruh. And they did not play all these Taylor Swift cuts in the Super Bowl, bro. During that Super Bowl, bro. Oh my God, bro. The Super Bowl would have been 10 times better. And I ain't no hating on no Taylor Swift, but my bad. You getting more screen time than the players themselves scoring a touchdown. Soon as they score a touchdown, they pinning it to Ice Spice and Taylor like these. Oh yeah. We got to make sure Taylor Swift get a good reaction on. Nigga, she's not touching the ball. I was wondering why they kept doing that, bro. She ain't even touched the ball or nothing, saying.
Chiefs fell short. The three-peat died that night. And no one realized it yet. Something else did too. Because 2025 brought with it the Chiefs' worst record since 2012. Their first December below 500 in over a decade. And the complete collapse of what once defined them.
I'm not going to hold you. If the Patriots want to go back to the Super Bowl, I'm drafting some offensive linemen, and I'm getting some good. I'm selecting some wide receivers and some DBs, man. I'm selecting some DBs, bro. I'm for real. I'm selecting some DBs. I'm selecting safety DBs. The defensive line good, but I'm still gonna select another defensive line and safety just in case the whole dude ain't got too long in the Chiefs. So I'm gonna get me a young D line and stuff like that. That if I was the chief head coach and stuff like that, that's just me though,
From 11-0 in games decided by one score the year before to 1-9. By week 15, the Chiefs were officially eliminated from playoff contention, and Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. In the span of one season, Kansas City went from chasing immortality to searching for answers. And now the questions are unavoidable. Will the Chiefs rise again? Or Are we witnessing the end of one of the greatest dynasties the NFL has ever seen?
As long as they don't trade none of their wide receivers, bro, and now I know they not, but as long as they don't fucking do Juju Smith and try to send them back to the Patriots or somewhere that over there, bro, they be straight, bro. They got every touches. They just need a little bit more wide receivers. They need to get a little bit more wide receivers. They need some DBs, offensive line that's gonna block for Pat, and they're gonna be straight, man. They're gonna be straight, bro. That's all they're gonna do. Shit, I'm for real.
This is the downfall we never saw coming. Before MVPs, before Super Bowls, before defensive coordinators started designing entire game plans just to survive one offense.
Come on. You ain't had to do that to my dog. Like why you had to show that part? Yeah, I know you wanted to show that part before him running the little touchdown on the Rams, man. Nah, but I'm not going back to that. Now you're wrong for that. You know you're wrong.
This was the year Kansas City finally ripped the Band-Aid off. Alex Smith was gone. Cornerback Marcus Peters was shipped out.
This is a team that this offseason has already traded away its starting quarterback. It traded away Marcus Peters. This might be a youth movement.
And longtime pillars like linebacker Derek Johnson and defensive end Tamba Hali were quietly shown the door. But this was also the year Patrick Mahomes took over as the starter. In Week 1 against the Chargers, he threw 4 touchdowns and won AFC Offensive Player of the Week in his first career start. A week later, against Pittsburgh, he went nuclear with 5 touchdowns by halftime, 6 total, 0 interceptions, and a near-perfect passer rating. With Tyreek Hill stretching the field, Travis Kelce living in the soft spots of every zone like he owned them, and Kareem Hunt punishing defenses, Kansas City opened the season 5-0, scoring at least 27 points in every game, averaging over 35 points per week. And Mahomes tied it all together with a style that felt reckless, improvisational, borderline irresponsible, except it kept working. The no-look throws, the off-platform lasers, the left-handed pass in Denver on Monday Night Football. By the end of the season, it wasn't just highlights anymore. The numbers were historic. Mahomes crossed 5,000 passing yards. He threw 50 touchdowns, joining only Peyton Manning and Tom Brady to do so. Kansas City finished with 565 points, the most in the NFL.
Hold on, wait a minute, man. What about Drew Brees? Drew Brees up there with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Yeah, don't be trying to disrespect Drew Brees like that, man. Hey, you know. And hold on, you better put Drew Brees on that, man. Yeah, right. Just about to say, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Now watch somebody in the comments gonna say, "Oh my, what Drew Brees was not that good." Like, how you gonna tell me Drew Brees was not that good, and they damn near could have played Tom Brady if they didn't get freaking cheated? Like, come on now.
The number 1 seed in the AFC.
How about those?
Patrick Mahomes became the first MVP in franchise history and the youngest quarterback in nearly 2 decades to win it. But underneath all the fireworks, there was a crack. Actually, several. Because while Kansas City could score on anyone, they also couldn't stop anyone. A 43-40 loss in New England and a brutal 54-51 shootout loss in LA proved that. Still, when January arrived, Arrowhead was different. The divisional round brought the Colts, and for the first time in 25 years, the Chiefs finally won a home playoff game, 31-13. That win sent Kansas City somewhere it hadn't been since 1993, an AFC championship game. And standing across the field was Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and New England. The Patriots opened the game with a brutal 15-play, 8-minute drive. Kansas City barely touched the ball. By halftime, the Chiefs had run just 16 offensive plays, but then it flipped. Mahomes found his rhythm, and then with under a minute left, Brady marched 75 yards and took the lead. It felt over, except Mahomes answered as he drove down the field, and then Butker tied it, overtime. But the coin toss went to New England, and the Chiefs never got to see the ball again. 37-31 Patriots. Kansas City walked off the field defeated, but not broken. Because for the first time, it was clear the Chiefs had unlocked something the league wasn't ready for. And in 2019, they were coming back hungry. Week 1 in Jacksonville, Patrick Mahomes dropped 378 yards and 3 touchdowns, even after losing Tyreek Hill early and playing on a sprained ankle that clearly wasn't right. A week later in Oakland, Kansas City erased the Raiders in 15 minutes of pure chaos. 28 unanswered points in 1 quarter, 4 Mahomes touchdown passes. By October, the Chiefs were 4-0, leading the NFL in explosive plays.
Not gonna hold you, bro. The Chiefs actually was good back, like, this was the year, 2019? Wait, what year that was that we got hold by the Rams because of that hit? I think that had to be when I was in middle school or high school, something like that.
Second quarter points and third down efficiency. Andy Reid was dialing up concepts defenses hadn't practiced for. And finally, the Chiefs had the defense to match. Frank Clark and Tyrann Mathieu were brought in to change the defense's personality. Chris Jones became a nightmare from the interior, and Juan Thornhill gave the secondary range. But dominance had a cost. Mahomes' ankle lingered. Arrowhead grew uneasy. And then, on a Thursday night in Denver, everything changed. Mahomes attempted a QB sneak, and when the play was over, he stayed down. The replay showed his kneecap getting dislocated. However, the next day, the MRI brought hope. No structural damage. The timeline said at least 3 weeks. Mahomes came back in 2.
Pat Mahomes playing this weekend, they're saying. After he dislocates his kneecap just a week ago. That's mind-boggling to me.
Against Tennessee, he threw
I'll give it to Pat, bro. That nigga Pat Mahomes, bro, he would play with a broken ass ankle. The ankle would then be on the side, and nigga still make some touchdowns. That's some heart. That's soul. That's dedication, and you want to win that game back. He like, nah, nigga, I just snap it back in when we get to halftime. Nigga, dead ass is sitting there walking like that. Like
446 yards and 3 touchdowns, becoming the fastest player in NFL history to reach 9,000 passing yards and 75 touchdowns, despite missing games. But the Chiefs still weren't perfect. They stumbled to 6-4. The defense had questions. The run defense was getting gashed. Analysts had doubts.
And they had a horrible run defense last year. It was terrible. What's the real difference this year? The defense should start playing better, because how do you play worse than that?
Kansas City didn't listen. From week 11 on, the defense allowed just 11.5 points per game, the best in the NFL, as Mahomes finished the regular season with 4,031 yards, 26 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions, leading Kansas City to a 12-4 record, a 4th straight AFC West title, and a 2nd straight first-round bye. But the regular season was only the setup, because down 24-0 in the playoffs to Houston, the defense forced one stop, then another, and suddenly the offense detonated 41 unanswered points, the most explosive comeback run in postseason history. Against Tennessee, the defense contained Derrick Henry just long enough while Mahomes delivered a 27-yard run that cracked the game wide open. And on the biggest stage of all, trailing late against the 49ers, the season on the line, 3rd and 15.
Oh, I already knew Patrick Mahomes was going to win this one. I should have bet money on it, man. Something told me I should have bet money on it.
Mahomes stepped up and launched a throw that would define an era. A 44-yard strike to Tyreek Hill. In just over 6 minutes, Kansas City unleashed a 21-0 fourth quarter avalanche, erasing 50 years of waiting and delivering the franchise its first Lombardi since 1970. Andy Reid finally had his ring. Mahomes had his moment. The league had its new standard. But dynasties aren't built on moments alone. That offseason, Kansas City did something no franchise had ever done before. They handed Patrick Mahomes the first $500 million contract in American sports history, a 10-year extension worth up to $503 million.
If you're going to pay anybody...
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm just keeping a nice good buck with you. Yo, Pat Mahomes, how long what you did to make these niggas get you that much money? $503 million? Yo, that nigga kid's generation is straight, bro. Like, nigga can retire right now, come back 2 years later, and man, bro, this nigga.
You're going to pay Patrick Mahomes. He's only 24 years old. He's already the best player in his sport.
And they started out the season 2-0. By week 3, the Chiefs welcomed Baltimore for what felt like a heavyweight fight for the future of the AFC. Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, the team built to stop Kansas City. Mahomes responded by shredding them. 385 passing yards, 5 total touchdowns. And with that night, he became the fastest player in NFL history to reach 10,000 career passing yards, doing it in just 34 games, obliterating Kurt Warner's record. But the thing is, it felt routine. That was the scary part. 2 weeks later against the Chargers, Kansas City trailed by 11 in the fourth quarter. Mahomes dragged him back again, his 6th career double-digit comeback, already an NFL record for a player this early into a career. By Thanksgiving, the Chiefs were 10-1 for the second straight season. No team in league history had ever done that. And the offense? It was unfair. In Week 12 against Tampa Bay, Tyreek Hill detonated the Buccaneers' secondary before halftime even arrived. 203 receiving yards in the first quarter alone, as he finished with 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce was quietly doing something no tight end had ever done before. 1,416 receiving yards, the most in NFL history at the position, as he also marked 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons, another milestone no tight end had ever touched. Kansas City finished the year averaging nearly 30 points per game. They went 8-0 on the road, something the franchise had never accomplished.
To this day, and I said this, bro, before, bro, they should have never, like, Tyreek Hill should have never left. He only left for some money, bro, and he knew that, like, that was gonna bite him in the end, bro. Leaving for some $29 million, saying that he was getting paid, what, 27? They were offering him like $27 million. This dude wanted to up it up by 2 times. Like, nigga.
Accomplished. On paper, this was one of the most complete teams football had ever seen.
We all look at them because of Patrick Mahomes and
Steve Kirk. Shut the fuck up. You don't know nothing about football or no sports in general. Please shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And we say, look, these brothers are unstoppable.
But under the surface, the cracks were spreading because the offensive line was constantly changing.
Oh, not Steve Kirk. I mean Steve Smith. Whatever the nigga name is.
Injuries, Mahomes was improvising more than ever. It didn't stop them, but it started demanding more from him. In the divisional round against Cleveland, Kansas City was in control when everything froze. Mahomes went down and exited under concussion protocol. Backup Chad Henne had to manage chaos, converting a massive 3rd down with his legs, then sealing the game with a perfectly placed throw. Kansas City escaped 22-17, but the illusion of invincibility finally felt fragile.
The Chiefs pulled it off without Mahomes.
I was shocked. I was really, really shocked.
A week later came the AFC Championship. Arrowhead, again, Josh Allen, the Bills, a team built to challenge the throne. Mahomes answered with 325 yards and 3 touchdowns, as Kansas City scored 21 points in the second quarter alone. 3 straight AFC Championship games hosted, 2 straight Super Bowl trips. So when Super Bowl 55 arrived, it felt like destiny. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, the present versus the past. But from the opening snaps, something was off.
Oh, man, I lost this. Yeah, and I had to run suicide. I remember that, bro. Because I said the Chiefs was going to beat the Tom Brady. And Tom Brady ended up winning this.
Tom Brady's Buccaneers, the Chiefs struggled. The offensive line allowed pressure on 29 of 56 dropbacks, a Super Bowl record, forcing the offense to improvise. Kansas City couldn't convert in the red zone and lost 31-9, Mahomes' first double-digit loss. Only later did the full picture come into focus, because 3 days after the Super Bowl, Mahomes underwent surgery for a severe turf toe injury, one he'd been battling quietly since the Cleveland game.
Patrick Mahomes will undergo that toe surgery we heard about, and that'll happen already tomorrow.
And yet, when the season's dust settled, the league still voted him the #1 player in the NFL, not out of sympathy, but out of respect. Because even in a season that didn't end the way it was supposed to, the truth remained unchanged. Kansas City wasn't fading. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce sat at #5 in the NFL Top 100.
You are the highest ranked tight end in the history of the show.
That's wild, man. That's wild.
Tyreek Hill was still the league's most feared deep threat, and Andy Reid had quietly built one of the most ruthless offenses football had ever seen. And after the Super Bowl collapsed the year before, the message was clear: fix the offensive line. So, GM Brett Veach went all in. Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz were gone. In came Orlando Brown Jr., Joe Thuney, and 2 rookies who would change the franchise's DNA, Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. Week 1 against Cleveland felt like a confirmation. Mahomes threw for 337 yards, tossed 3 touchdowns, and ran for another. The Chiefs won their 15th straight September game, and it felt like the league was right back where it started, chasing ghosts. Then came Baltimore, where for the first time in his career, Patrick Mahomes threw a September interception and lost a September game.
Damn. Well, yeah, I would have got a pick too. Look how 99 just set that man up for failure.
In his career, Patrick Mahomes
just twist his whole body. Damn, it's not that serious to get a little tackle. Shit. Like, bro, ain't no way. Ain't no way, bruh. I'm for real, and I know, bruh. And I know I'm a defensive lineman, and I know I have to say this, but it's not that deep to get a tackle on a quarterback, bro, and you getting paid much money, bro. And this is the second week. I would have seen it was playoffs, then yeah, I would have let that shit slide. It's the second week. It's the second week, dog. It's not even the first week. It's the second week, bro. Yo, I see what these quarterbacks be going through, and I be wondering why, like, you know, the NFL be making these rules and stuff like that. Man, for the people for the back, let's see it one more time, bro, because y'all think I'm tripping.
Chasing ghosts. Then came Baltimore, where for the first time in his career, Patrick...
Nigga, hip could have relocated. Nigga down there could have twisted his ankle on top of his helmet. Nigga could have had an inner season torn ligament. Damn, bro.
Mahomes threw a September interception and lost a September game. Almost irrelevant, but it was another crack. 2 weeks later, Buffalo walked into Arrowhead and did something no one had done to Mahomes in the regular season. They beat him by double digits. They held him to 0 touchdowns, and they handed him his first home loss by more than one score since 2014. Suddenly, that invincible offense looked human. Then, Tennessee ripped the mask off entirely. 3 points, the lowest output of the Mahomes era. And by week 7, Mahomes had thrown an interception in 6 straight games, the longest streak of his career. He already had more turnovers than any full season he'd ever played with 10 games still left. At 3-4, the Chiefs found themselves in a place they hadn't been in nearly a decade, a losing record. Against Green Bay, Mahomes hit a career low with 166 passing yards.
I have to correct that. I have to be better. I have to reevaluate where I'm at, what decisions I'm making.
That's when defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo made the decision to move Chris Jones back inside and simplify the defense. Almost overnight, Kansas City turned into something new. They held opponents to 17 points or fewer in 5 straight games. The Chiefs ripped off 8 straight wins, reclaimed the AFC West for the 6th straight year, and finished 12-5, their 4th consecutive 12-win season. Andy Reid collected his 100th win as the Chiefs head coach, becoming the first coach in NFL history to win 100 games with multiple teams. By January, the machine was humming again. In the wild card round, Mahomes detonated Pittsburgh for 404 yards and 5 touchdowns, the most passing yards in a playoff game in franchise history. Then came Buffalo and Josh Allen, a man seeking revenge from a year ago, a game that spiraled into chaos. Lead after lead, punch after punch, and with 13 seconds left, Kansas City trailed 36-33. Season over in every logical universe. And then logic stopped applying. One throw, another. All of a sudden, the Chiefs had moved 44 yards in a blink. Harrison Butker's field goal split the uprights as the clock hit 0, sending the game into overtime where Mahomes took the ball and never gave it back, 42-36. A week later, the Chiefs stormed out to a 21-3 lead over Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game. Another Super Bowl trip was right there. And then the game slowed down. A missed throw, a stalled drive. By overtime, the moment had flipped, and Joe Burrow and the Bengals walked out of Arrowhead with a 27-24 win.
Yeah, and I think this is the lost Rams and no, I said that wrong. The Rams versus the Bengals, and the Rams end up
the first time in years, Kansas City didn't feel inevitable anymore. To seemingly make matters worse, that offseason, Kansas City did the unthinkable.
Tyreek Hill has been traded from Kansas City to Miami.
The most feared speed weapon in football, the human cheat code who warped coverages before the ball was even snapped. Gone. Around the league, the reaction was almost universal. This was the end of the Chiefs dynasty. You don't trade a Hall of Fame level receiver in his prime and just keep rolling. But over in KC, the Chiefs weren't panicking at all. Instead of pouring money into one superstar, Brett Veach flipped Hill into draft capital and depth. Kansas City didn't replace Tyreek Hill with another Tyreek Hill. They replaced him with options. Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Mecole Hardman Jr., and rookie Sky Moore. And right out of the gate, Mahomes made it very clear this offense wasn't shrinking. Week 1, Arizona, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns. 3 weeks later in Tampa on Sunday Night Football against the league's top-scoring defense from the year before, Mahomes put on a 41-31 clinic. And by December, it wasn't just obvious, it was historic. Mahomes shattered the Chiefs' single-season passing record again, throwing for 5,250 yards. He led the league with 41 touchdown passes. He became the fastest quarterback in NFL history to reach 21,500 passing yards and 175 total touchdowns, doing it all before his 75th career start. The receiving room told the story of the entire season. Juju Smith-Schuster working the middle, Marquez Valdes-Scantling stretching the field, Mecole Hardman flashing speed in key moments. No single receiver cracked 1,000 yards, but it didn't matter at all because the passing game was so efficient, it unlocked something else. A 7th-round rookie named Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, they did a good thing to pick him up because he had a good backstory and he would need the speed. You know, that's the type of guy. But I feel like if the Chiefs really want to go ahead and get somebody to bring him back, you can bring Tyreek back. He'll rock with any number, you know. I'm just for real.
He ran like he hated the ground. And quietly, the other side of the ball was changing too. Chris Jones turned into an unstoppable skyscraper, racking up 15.5 sacks. Nick Bolton notched 180 tackles, the second most in team history. And Trent McDuffie and the rookie DBs didn't fold in big moments. In fact, they thrived in them. In the postseason, the team's resilience was on full display. In the divisional round, Jacksonville punched first. But even with Mahomes hobbled with an ankle injury, the Chiefs leaned on precision and patience to close out a 27-20 win. A week later, in another AFC championship, the Bengals came to Arrowhead again. This time, Kansas City didn't blink. 23-20 Chiefs. Next was Super Bowl 57.
Yeah, and they only got that could do hit Mahomes out of bounds, bro. Like, hard as hell. Like, nah,
the league had never seen before.
It'll be the first Super Bowl where two brothers from different teams will be playing each other.
Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce. One, the emotional engine of Kansas City's offense. The other, the heartbeat of Philadelphia's offensive line. Two future Hall of Famers. Two leaders. And it became an instant classic. Facing a talented Philadelphia Eagles team, the Chiefs overcame a 10-point halftime deficit. The offense delivered 3 consecutive touchdown drives, while the defense made key stops in the fourth quarter. The result, 38-35 victory. What was supposed to be a down year turned into something even better, even deeper, and even more unstoppable. And that meant that by 2023, the Chiefs were officially the NFL's villains. But it wasn't just because they were so good. When Travis Kelce started dating Taylor Swift, football stopped being the only thing on the screen. Every Chiefs game turned into an event. Every broadcast turned into pop culture crossover. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes was still doing Patrick Mahomes things, stacking milestones like they were side quests.
Can we agree now? Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. No question, Skip, right?
Yep. He's the one that's the greatest of many quarterbacks. Is he top 5? Yes. Like, top 5 all-time greatest quarterbacks on my list right now. I have Tom Brady as number 1. I got Drew Brees as number 2. Patrick Mahomes. I got Lamar Jackson. And you can put Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow put Travis Lawrence, Joe Burrow or Travis Lawrence in that 5th spot, let them develop in a few years, bro, they will be straight, bro. I'm telling you.
Go ahead and say it, Skip.
Fastest quarterback ever to 200 touchdown passes. The youngest QB in NFL history to beat all 31 other teams.
And the only reason why I'm saying this because they all got rings. Ring stats and all that other stuff. That's the only reason why Joe Burrow and Travis Lawrence is in the pop. But they don't got no ring. Oh, Joe Burrow could have got a ring. But he lost to the Rams.
Alex Smith's franchise record for quarterback rushing yards. The defense also became elite, second in the NFL in yards allowed. Chris Jones collapsing pockets, Trent McDuffie locking.
All right, come on now. Why, son? And I understand, man. I feel bad for Joe Burrow, bro.
In the NFL in yards allowed. Chris Jones.
Yo, that's the face of, man. I'm sick of this offensive line, bro. Like, yeah. And why that man hug that man like, hey, it's okay, bro. It's all right, bro. Maybe next year. Man, I'm about to win this year.
collapsing pockets, Trent McDuffie locking down stars. But here's the part nobody really talked about. This was the least explosive Chiefs offense of the Mahomes era. They finished 15th in scoring, a free fall.
Would the Chiefs go against Legion of Boom? Would they be able to beat the Legion of Boom? That just depends. Because Travis, because you got to ask Gronkowski about that. I mean, Gronk. Because Gronk was getting hit left and right by Cam Chandler, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. So I'm not saying the Chiefs might they gonna score some touchdowns, but it's gonna be a close game against them. And I feel like the Seahawks is gonna win because they had Marshawn Lynch, real Russell Wilson when he was in his prime, and they had the Locks dude and all the other people, So
the year before, they scored 39 offensive touchdowns, down from 61. And despite drafting Rashee Rice to inject life into the receiving room, Kansas City's wideouts finished the season with more drops than any team in the NFL. They finished 11-6. But half of those wins didn't even feel right. Because at Taylor Swift, people thought the NFL was rigging the games for the Chiefs and the new fans. Every flag felt suspicious. Every Kelce first down came with another cut to the suite. Even Travis admitted it felt like too much. And yet, that only made Kansas City lean further into it. In the playoffs, Miami came first, as Arrowhead hosted the 4th coldest game in NFL history, where the Chiefs walked away victorious. Then came Buffalo. For the first time ever, Patrick Mahomes walked into a playoff game on the road. Snow falling, Bills Mafia shaking the stadium, Josh Allen on the other sideline, still chasing the ghost of Kansas City past. Still, the same result, a 27-24 win. Kansas City's 3rd playoff victory over Buffalo in 4 seasons. Next stop, Baltimore, the MVP, the #1 defense. And yet, Chiefs held the Ravens to 10 points as Mahomes and Travis Kelce quietly passed.
Man, yeah, man, this is when Lamar wanted to do that phony stuff. Yeah, I'm on your top, Lamar. Yeah, he wanted to want to throw it, but with 3 guys and stuff. And me and my dad was making a whole joke about it. He said, "Yeah, Lamar only there for the money now." At that point, all love to Lamar Jackson, man. I want to see that man one day. Might want to go to one of his games, bro, before he, retired.
Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski for the most playoff touchdowns by a duo in NFL history. Then came Super Bowl 58 against the San Francisco 49ers, a rematch 4 years in the making. San Francisco entered favorite. Kansas City entered battle-tested, and as the game went on, KC trailed by double digits. Drives stalled, possessions vanished. And Taylor Swift was shown on the broadcast 12 times. But the Chiefs kept answering. When regulation ended, tied
like I said earlier, bro. Taylor Swift, she's up there with music. Is she top 5 on my list? Shit, no. Hell no. But why we kept seeing Taylor Swift? Like, she ain't touched the ball. She ain't signed the ball. She ain't even try to sing a song with the ball. She ain't did nothing with that ball, but we showing her as the main antagonist. Oh, yeah, that's the main character right there. Oh, we got to get every angle on that. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
19, history stretched longer than it ever had before. Overtime under the new rules, the longest Super Bowl in NFL history. San Francisco struck first, field goal. Mahomes took the ball needing a touchdown to win. 3rd and long, season on the line, Mahomes slid left and fired a strike to Travis Kelce for a first down. From there, the Chiefs continued to march. Then, on the goal line, Mecole Hardman got a quick pass and ran it into the end zone for the touchdown. By the end, Mahomes had completed 34 of 46 passes for 333 yards, his highest Super Bowl total, as he earned his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. He became the first quarterback since Brady's Patriots to win back-to-back titles, and Kansas City had 3 championships in 5 seasons. So all of a sudden, the Chiefs were chasing something that had never happened in the history of the NFL, a three-peat. But instead of their usual dominance, the 2024 season became a grind. Kansas City still finished 15-2, but 11 of those wins came by 1 score in what could only be described as dark magic. On paper, this roster wasn't supposed to look fragile. Brett Veach had spent years building the trenches, trusting Andy Reid's system, and betting that Mahomes could elevate whatever skill talent was around him. But the cracks were everywhere. The Chiefs never had a 1,000-yard rusher under Mahomes. They never had a 1,000-yard wide receiver since Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce was still productive, but no longer overwhelming. Rookie Xavier Worthy had 9 total touchdowns, but he was learning on the fly. Rashee Rice was becoming Mahomes' safety blanket, until one freak moment flipped everything. In Week 4 against the Chargers, after tossing an interception, Mahomes collided with Rice's leg while attempting to tackle a defender.
Is there anything you can tell us on the severity of Rice's injury?
No, but it's not good.
Rice was injured, out for the season. Mahomes' safety blanket was gone. Suddenly, the KC offense was paper thin. Drops started piling up. Drives stalled. Red zone possessions turned into field goals. And although they kept winning, Kansas City became the first 15-win team to score fewer than 400 points in a season since the merger. In fact, their point differential was just plus 59, ranked dead last among all 11-plus win teams in Super Bowl history. But when the playoffs arrived, Kansas City leaned into what they'd become, not what they used to be. They handled Houston by controlling the game. Then came Buffalo. Again, another postseason meeting, another heavyweight fight, another moment where Josh Allen played well enough to win and didn't.
To be the champs, you had to beat the champs, and we didn't do it tonight.
And that win pushed Mahomes past every quarterback in playoff wins except one, Tom Brady. All of a sudden, the Chiefs had 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, history staring them in the face, a three-peat on the line.
I can't see Kansas City three-peating this year.
Super Bowl 59, a Chiefs-Eagles rematch from 2 years ago. Only this time, it wasn't a duel. Mahomes was hit early, hit often, and sacked a career.
This what they was in New Orleans, bro. I feel like this game was rigged. I feel like they wanted the Eagles to win this month. Like this how I knew the NFL was like kind of low-key messed up with it, saying when you get to the point of like in general, because like hold on, bro, like when the Eagles started scoring that much amount of points like that, and I don't care they had Saquon Barkley, that don't mean nothing. It showed this year. You still got Saquon Barkley. You still losing. Trash. Just trash. I feel like they did not want them to win that. The three-peat, I don't think nobody in history got a three-peat. Just to keep it real with you, I think it is something that the NFL do not want nobody to do. A three-peat. They don't care who you is. Because I don't think Tom Brady did a three-peat. No, Tom Brady did no three-peat. Because if Tom Brady did a three-peat, they would have mentioned it. He didn't. Did a three-peat. That's why I'm saying that's something like the NFL. They must set got a rule. Nah, we cannot let this man three-peat. I don't care. It's Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I don't care who is it. It could be the next hottest quarterback out of there coming from anywhere. We're not letting these dudes three-peat.
High 6 times by a 4-man rush. By halftime, Kansas City had managed just 23.
The Chiefs still own the Eagles. Just sorry to tell y'all got y'all ass with by like 3 to 4 times. Very, very like kind of low-key, kind of crazy. Like, not gonna hold you. The Chiefs down there own the Eagles.
3 total yards, the second fewest first half yards in Super Bowl history. Then came the play that sealed it, a Cooper DeJean 38-yard pick six. And Philadelphia just kept piling on. Jalen Hurts threw 3 total touchdowns and ran for a Super Bowl record 72 rushing yards by a quarterback. By the middle of the third quarter, the scoreboard read 34-0. And when it was 40-6 with 5 minutes left, Eagles starters began exiting. And the final score, 40-22, made it look closer than it ever was. Mahomes finished the night with 3 turnovers. And while the three-peat dream was dead, the Chiefs' dynasty was far from it. Well, at least that's what we thought. Kansas City opened the 2025 season against the Chargers like a traveling rock band to Sao Paulo. This was still the core that had owned the AFC for nearly a decade. Mahomes, Kelce, Reed, Jones. A front office that had mastered the art of reloading instead of rebuilding. A franchise that turned late draft picks, undervalued veterans, and schematic genius into inevitability. They lost pieces, sure, every dynasty does. But Kansas City had always believed they could replace production with process. That belief took its first hit in Sao Paulo when they lost 27-21. 2 weeks later, Kansas City was 0-2 for the first time since 2014. That alone should have set alarms off. But this was Kansas City, they'd fix it. Except 2025 kept stacking moments this version of the Chiefs never had. By December, they were under 500 for the first time since 2012. They already had 7 losses, the most in the dynasty era. The Chiefs went 1-7 in one-score games, dead last in the NFL, which is wild for a team that won 11 one-score games the year before, the most in league history. Mahomes threw 4 red zone interceptions. Chris Jones lost contain on 3rd and 14, allowing a game-sealing scramble.
I don't care who you is, Hall of Famer, no Famer. You messed up. They was expecting the defensive end to keep contained. What you gonna tell Chris Jones? Not to make a play?
Yeah. Even Harrison Butker missed a career high in field goals. And by December, Kansas City had run out of margin for error. They were 6-7, facing a must-win against the Chargers. After the season-opening loss in Brazil, Kansas City wanted revenge, needed it. Mahomes opened the game the only way he knows how, darting into the end zone on the first drive, reminding everyone exactly who he was. Kansas City stacked points the hard way, grinding out field goals, surviving injuries up front. They built a 13-3 lead without ever looking comfortable. Then, Los Angeles tied it, then took the lead. Once again, Kansas City found itself chasing points in a one-score game, the exact scenario that had haunted them all year. And then, late in the fourth quarter, it happened. Mahomes scrambled towards the sideline, doing what he's done 1,000 times before, trying to keep the season alive one play longer, and his knee buckled underneath him. Mahomes stayed down, clutching his leg. Towel soon draped over his head as trainers helped him toward the tunnel. Gardner Minshew stepped in, and with 20 seconds left, he launched a ball towards Travis Kelce, but it was intercepted by Derwin James. Ball game, season. And if that wasn't cruel enough, the truth followed shortly after. Patrick Mahomes had torn his ACL. And if things somehow couldn't get any worse, well, backup quarterback Gardner Minshew went down with a left knee injury the very next week, as the Chiefs were embarrassed 26-9 by a Titans team that entered the game with a record of 2-12. And to finish the season, Chris Oladokun took over as the Chiefs' starting quarterback, losing both of his starts as the Chiefs finished 6-11. So, what's next? For years, the Chiefs lived on the edge of impossibility.
Like I said, if the Chiefs want to go ahead and possibly go back to the championship, draft some more offensive line, get some rookies that's going to block for Pat, get some more wide receiver, another tight end, just in case Travis get hurt, more DBs. We need some more Y'all need some more DBs, man. Well, I fuck with the Chiefs, so I mean, I root for them, but always at home is Saints. Saints is always home, but I root for the Chiefs though. If we don't go far for the thing, but and Baltimore, and ain't no dissing on another team and like that. I root them. Y'all got that far, cool. But yeah, if you wanna do that, you just gotta build all your pieces, man. Get all your pieces, especially your defensive pieces too. Like, I'm looking at the draft class for the best defensive person right now. I'm trying to grow ahead and get some trade stocks. I'm trying to get some defensive players. I'm just keeping it real.
The salary cap, bent defensive rules, bent reality itself, because Patrick Mahomes could erase mistakes faster than anyone alive. If a receiver dropped a pass, Mahomes created another play. If the pocket collapsed, he escaped. If the roster got thinner, he got better. But the truth is, the bill was always coming. The receiver drop problems never went away. At the same time, the offensive line, once quietly elite, began cracking under the weight of constant deep playoff runs and late draft positions. In fact, in one game, the Chargers never sent extra rushers once and still pressured Mahomes on nearly half his dropbacks, the highest rate he'd seen all year. So, Mahomes adapted like he always does. The ball came out fast, historically fast. In fact, Mahomes led the league in throws released under 2.5 seconds, and even under 1.5 seconds. And now, the way to the future looms heavier than ever. If Kansas City wants to remain a dynasty, these problems can't be masked. They'd have to be solved. But solving them has never been harder, because Travis Kelce could be entering a retirement era with his Taylor Swift love story. And to make matters even worse for the Chiefs, more than 25 players on the roster face uncertain futures. And then there's the math. Mahomes' $78.2 million cap hit in 2026 puts the team roughly $34 million over over the projected salary cap, meaning the Chiefs will have to make some tough decisions, restructure contracts, or cut key veterans to maintain flexibility. Names like Chris Jones, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and Nick Bolton could all be affected. And yet, everything still comes back to one thing: Patrick Mahomes. A day after suffering a season-ending ACL tear in his left knee, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid confirmed that Mahomes sustained no major damage to other ligaments, saying, "As long as the surgery goes well, as expected, then I would expect a fairly quick recovery for him, just because of those factors." But here's the thing. History has seen this moment before. Tom Brady tore his ACL at age 31, coming off 3 Super Bowl titles, and also missed the playoffs that season. He came back, never missed the postseason again, and won 4 more Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL at age 30, also coming off 3 Super Bowl titles, and also missed the playoffs that season. Same stage of a dynasty, same moment of uncertainty. 2 very different paths could follow. The problem is that this isn't New England's story. It isn't Brady's story. While Brady thrived in the pocket, Mahomes thrives everywhere else, scrambling, improvising, making impossible throws on the run. An ACL injury changes everything for a player like that.
But I think low-key, and I'm going to say this again, I low-key think the Chiefs might go back to the Super Bowl. And I ain't saying no, just a dick ride or nothing like that, but I feel like they got a chance to go back. I feel like Travis, at best, Travis got 2 more years in him. 2 to 3 more years, bro. Pat convince him. Best, he got 2 to 3 more years. Then he gonna retire, bro. At best. But hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media, dip up on the screen, winner of the 500, and I'm out.